Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and if you are new to my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, I am a travel agent with Marvelous Mouse Travels, which is an earmarked diamond level authorized Disney vacation planner. And we are in the middle of our annual Marvelous Madness tournament. And this year we are voting on the very best Walt Disney World hotel. So we are here tonight to reveal the results of our Sweet 16 round. So I have to help me tonight my husband Evan. Evan, come on.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah, and we are going to jump right into it and show you our results of our first matchup. As always, feel free to chime in with your comments. That's the most fun part of all of this. We love to say hello to people and hear what you think about all of the results. Hey, Laura.
And a happy birthday to Laura. Today is her birthday. So I hope you have a fantastic day. So let's see here. Our first matchup was the Grand Floridian against the Polynesian. I think, hey, it's just a number, Laura. It's just a number. 29, right? Like that's what it was, right? Hey, Carrie, thanks for joining us. That's exciting to have you with us. So the first matchup, Grand Floridian Polynesian, and this kind of rounds out the monorail um, resorts. But I think I made it kind of clear on my assessment 2 nights ago. You probably can guess who I voted for. I voted for the Grand Floridian. Ginger, who did you vote for?
I also voted for the Grand Floridian, and here's why. It was more of a sentimental thing for me. I remember the first trip that we ever took with our kids to Disney World. So it wasn't mine and Evan's first trip, but it was our kids' first trip. I remember we were taking the ferry over from the TTC to the Magic Kingdom, and when you take the ferry, you obviously see the Grand Floridian, you see the Polynesian, all those monorail resorts. And as we're going over, I was just looking at the Grand Floridian and I was like, man, that is beautiful. Like, I would love to be able to stay there someday, never thinking that that would ever be within the realm of possibility for us. And so when, after I started planning travel professionally, when we were finally able to make that happen several years later, it was kind of like a bucket list thing for us. And so it was it will always have a special place in my heart and will probably always be my favorite in terms of, warm fuzzies. It will probably always be my favorite Disney World resort. So I, of course, voted for the Grand too.
However, apparently we were some of the only people that voted for the Grand Floridian because the Polynesian won. And this, I just don't know. There was 61 to 39%. uh, okay. I really don't get it. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm asking if you are watching right now, if you voted for the Polynesian, would you please explain to me why in the comments? Because I'm genuinely curious. Apparently our comments just started blowing up. So let's see. Uh, Katie Taylor said, "Hey Ginger," Devin said, "Hey Katie, all the way from Georgia, North Georgia. Well, kind of mid. I don't know. I guess it's kind of North Georgia. Um, Welcome, Katie." Uh, Danielle said, "No." That reminds me of the Michael Scott gif from the episode. He's like, sees Toby's back. No. Um, yeah, I mean, I know. Oh well, Carrie voted for the Poly, um, and she just told us why. Danielle said, "I love the Poly, but Grand Floridian has been my dream to stay at since I was little." Yep, totally understand that. Okay, all right. So this is the only thing that I can say would be why the Polynesian deserves it. The overwater bungalows. I totally understand that. Laura said just looks so tropical and wonderful, and it is the original source of Dole Whip. Carrie said the new rooms, Dole Whip, fireworks on the beach. So we do have a photo of the new rooms at the Polynesian, and they are.
stalling for time as he looks
Yeah.
through 500 photos on our StreamYard.
So that is the new Moana themed rooms at the Polynesian.
And they're beautiful. Like, they are beautiful.
However, the Grand Floridian is getting updated rooms as well. And oh my goodness. Well, okay, Danielle just mentioned it. She said also those new resort studio rooms are fire. Absolutely. They certainly are. Katie said it's just the theming of the Poly and Ohana. All right, Ohana, also a valid point. Ohana is incredible. So, I mean, you've got for the Polynesian things that are in its favor. You've obviously got the Overwater bungalows. Ohana, great restaurant. You could say views of the castle. Okay, same thing at Grand Floridian for that. Renovated Moana rooms. Okay. And it is just a relaxing, beautiful, tropical thing.
I love the Polynesian, and definitely don't hear us saying that we don't love the Polynesian. We do love the Polynesian. It is an absolutely beautiful resort. And I would stay there tomorrow, would not even hesitate to stay there. But I will say that that's one of the things I love about Disney, because no matter what your vibe is, no matter what type of resort feel you're looking for, you can find that in one of the many properties that they have. So even though, Polynesian may not be as much my vibe as Grand Floridian is, it will be much more someone else's vibe than Grand Floridian is, and so that is one of the cool things. They are kind of each so different, and they're very much a destination in their own right that everybody's going to find somewhere that feels like home for them.
Danielle said also the Grand Floridian Cafe is at Grand. Yep, that's right. Laura said that the Grand Floridian is beautiful, but part of her felt like it was too luxurious for her kids. She said, I was terrified they'd break something. I get that. I understand that. Danielle said, I think the Grand Floridian gets a rep for being stuffy, especially if you have kids. Yep. So she's backing up what Laura said there too. For me, when you think about the Grand Floridian, like I said last time, the first time we ever walked in there, the jazz band was playing in the lobby, the gorgeous grand lobby. There's, when you think about what all it has going for it, there's a Bippity Boppity boutique there. There will hopefully soon be a character meal again. In 1900 Park Fair, the Grand Floridian Cafe is there, which, oh man, is so good. There's, a beautiful little seating area overlooking outside Gasparilla Grill, overlooking the castle, and you can see the fireworks. The wedding chapel is at Grand Floridian. I'm trying to think what all the renovated rooms.
Well, last time we were there at Christmas, they actually brought Cinderella's carriage through the resort grounds. Like, that was pretty special too. It was all lit up. It was beautiful.
The pool area with the Mad Hatter hat that dumps out the water, sitting in the lobby listening to the jazz pianist play. I mean, it's just goodness, it's magical. And that's not even talking about like Citricos and Narcoossee's and what's the other one that's so
Victorian Albert definitely would play into the stuffy reputation.
Agreed.
It's very
no
much
doubt.
Yeah.
You've got like the Enchanted Rose, and I mean, it's just a really it's you can walk to Magic Kingdom from there now. So I mean, it broke my heart seeing this, but I mean, I love the Polynesian. I love Ohana. It's fantastic. I love Kona Cafe. But man, like I was thinking about it last night when we saw the results, and I was, I guess, mourning. I don't know. But I decided Grand Floridian is my overall second favorite Disney resort. My number one favorite resort got beat in the first round. That would have been Yacht Club, and Yacht Club is my favorite resort simply due to the location. I love the Epcot resort area right around the boardwalk. I love the fact that you can just walk in International Gateway. So the Yacht Club is my number one favorite resort. Grand Floridian is my second favorite resort. And obviously location, being on the monorail and stuff like that, but if you take the Yacht Club and move it away from its location, then the Grand Floridian becomes my number one. So just really two great things. And Beach Club is probably my third favorite. once again, because of the location. So I may have just given away an answer on the next couple ones. But anyway, so Polynesian versus Grand Floridian. Polynesian took that one. Animal Kingdom Lodge beat out Wilderness Lodge, 57%, 43%. It's pretty close. It's actually pretty close. And they're very similar restaurants, very similar hotels. Animal Kingdom, obviously you got the Savannah, really, really incredible thing there. But and great restaurants at Animal Kingdom. But at Wilderness Lodge, you're a boat ride away from Magic Kingdom. At Wilderness Lodge, there's those cabins out. What are those? I don't remember.
Copper Creek cabins. Yep. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I was not 100% sure. Like typically going into these, I kind of have an idea of how I think it's going to go. Like I figured that Polynesian was probably going to beat out Grand Floridian. Like I was surprised by how much it beat it out by, but I did expect the Polynesian to win. With this one, I didn't really have a gut feeling which way this was going to go because they are very similar in the way they're laid out. But Wilderness Lodge is, beautiful. It's right there in the Magic Kingdom area. It has one of the best character meals on site. It has, those beautiful cabins that you can stay in, all kinds of things going for it. But Animal Kingdom Lodge, I mentioned this in the last video. That was a place that I stayed at just because my children wanted to stay there. They had been asking to stay there for a really, really long time. Last spring break, we had the opportunity to sneak away for a couple of days. And I was like, let's just do it. Let's go ahead and stay at Animal Kingdom. Let the kids get it out of their system, basically. And I ended up absolutely loving that resort. Like it surprised me how much I loved it. And we had a Savannah View room, which if you are going to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge, it is worth it 100% to spring for those Savannah View rooms.
Amen. Absolutely.
Yeah, we just sat out there and just watched the animals for a really long time. And it was so cool. Our kids were super excited about it. But I also, I think my fear about Animal Kingdom Lodge, because the time I had toured it, was before they had kind of refreshed the interior. And I remembered it just feeling kind of dark. And I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of like dark and depressing. And I don't think this is a room that I'm going to stay in. But they had really brightened it up by the time we actually stayed there. And I absolutely loved it. I loved Boma. I loved, walking around and just learning about all the different animals and all the different cultural displays that they had. So I ended up really, really liking Animal Kingdom. In fact, it is in my top 5 Disney resorts. Like I would say there again in a heartbeat. I think it's a great one.
So did you vote for Animal Kingdom?
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, you can say it now.
Yes, I did.
I voted for Animal Kingdom Lodge as well, simply because of the Savannah. But Ginger made a really good point. Wilderness Lodge has storybook dining, and that is some of the best food I've ever eaten at any Disney restaurant ever. I can't remember what it was, what I had. It was called. It was like a pork shank or something like that. Man, oh my goodness, it was amazing.
It was really good. And I had it's called a stroll through nature. It's actually a vegetarian entree, but it was like gnocchi and some other things. It was so good. But that is one thing to keep in mind about Animal Kingdom. I think all of the deluxe resorts, with the exception, well, not all, because Boardwalk doesn't have one. Yacht Club doesn't technically have one because you can walk to Beach Club, but they don't have character meals. Saratoga Springs, Old Key West don't have character meals, but a lot of the other ones like Riviera has one, Beach Club has one, Grand Floridian, Polynesian, Contemporary, those all have character meals. So does Wilderness Lodge. So, that is a pretty important distinguishing factor between these two, that one has a character meal and the other doesn't.
Danielle said, what? She said, I voted Wilderness Lodge because we're staying there in May for the first time. My husband has always wanted to stay at a traditional lodge hotel in Colorado, and we didn't get to when we were out there last, plus that lobby. Now, that lobby is incredible at Wilderness Lodge. Like I said, if you go back and watch Ginger's resort tour of it, you have a very real moment where she walks in and you can hear her go, wow. I mean, like, it is a grand lobby. I don't know, maybe it's that grand because I'm still thinking about the Grand Floridian. I don't know. So Carrie said, I liked Animal Kingdom a lot more than I expected to. I think we both did as well when we stayed there. Katie said, I love Animal Kingdom Lodge. Abigail looked for the antelopes. I love it. Every night before she went to bed. It is really cool seeing the animals outside the door. That's incredible. And Danielle said, I know folks staying at Animal Kingdom right now and they're loving it. One other thing to consider, we mentioned that one thing this is why it's so close, because they have so many different things going for them. Animal Kingdom Lodge, the only transportation option you have is a bus. That's it. There is no boat to anywhere. There is no Skyliner to anywhere. And Animal Kingdom, you're a boat ride away from Magic Kingdom. Excuse me, Wilderness Lodge, you're a boat ride away from Magic Kingdom. So that's something else to consider. I mean, the very different resorts architecturally, very similar in the lobby, but different amenities. So, having said that, let's move on to the beach club and boardwalk. Okay. If you noticed the thumbnail on YouTube for this video, you noticed we had a 98% to 2% vote. That was this one. 98% beach club to 2%. This, in all the years that we've done this now, this is the single largest margin of victory we have ever had in anything. It was one vote away from being 100% to nothing. Laura said, woo. And I mean, I obviously I voted for Beach Club. Ginger voted for Beach Club. I mean, of the two, this is, in my opinion, an easy one. And apparently a lot of other people shared that sentiment. As I mentioned just a minute ago, Beach Club is my third favorite. As I thought about it, it's my third favorite resort on all of Disney property. And it is just a hop, skip, and not even a jump, just a hop and a skip away from International Gateway at Epcot.
Yeah, and the boardwalk here, don't get me wrong, it is a beautiful resort. Like, we have a full tour of that one, and I agree with Laura. I cannot wait to see it after they've got the refurbishments done, because it is very much in Danielle, the clown pool. Yes, thankfully they got rid of that clown, I think, because they did used to have a water slide where, like, you slide out of the clown's mouth, and, like, if you're afraid of clowns, that was horrifying.
It was a pretty ugly clown, not gonna lie.
Yeah. There are also, though, other things about that resort that it is beautiful. Like, its architecture is a lot like Beach Club. Like, it's very classic lines and things like that. It has that kind of coastal vibe because it's themed after, boardwalks. But it's quirky in the way that they've decorated it. And there are some, decorative pieces in there that are just kind of weird, like the nanny chairs that they have on either side of the fireplace. Those things are, like, kind of scary looking. So, but there's so much to do at the boardwalk. You've got jelly rolls, you've got a dance hall, you've got lots of different restaurants. You have they're getting a beautiful new cake shop that's going to be there soon. They are refreshing the interior of those rooms, which they were due for a renovation. It had been a while. And so it will be, I think, like, if we were doing this a year from now, it might have been a much, much closer percentage. But I think because the boardwalks is in transition, that probably explains part of why it was such a high margin.
So I agree. The renovated rooms are something that we're all looking forward to. But the best amenity of the boardwalk is the vanilla ice cream with peanut butter on top. It is absolutely amazing at the boardwalk, not bakery, boardwalk ice cream shop. There's that pizza place right out there too. The coolest thing about the boardwalk, honestly, well, I mean, it is the vanilla ice cream and the peanut butter, but sitting out on the boardwalk at night with all the lights lit up and reflecting off the water, looking across the water at the Swan and Dolphin and the Yacht and Beach Club, that's one of the coolest things you'll do at Disney World, honestly. When we went down there with Ginger's parents for the first time, both of her parents, but her dad in particular, fell in love with the boardwalk area just sitting there at night. I mean, it was absolutely breathtaking. We have a good friend, Lauren, who got married at the boardwalk. So Lauren, if you're watching, hey, welcome. But yeah, I mean, I think I agree with everybody's choice here. Danielle said, I've heard great things about the Boardwalk Deli. Yep, I have too. And, you know, as we mentioned last time, we got the place. I think Danielle said when she was a cast member, she would buy her groceries at the general store at Boardwalk because it's just a really cool store. That's our kids' one of their favorite stores at Disney World. So our last deluxe resort matchup, Riviera against Saratoga Springs. And Riviera won that one. And that one was not close. It was 81% to 19%. And once again, I totally agree with this. Best bathrooms at Disney World. If we ever had that as a tournament, no need because we already got a winner. It's Riviera. It is absolutely amazing. But Saratoga Springs would probably be second in best bathrooms because those, like that bathroom we stayed at that time. Well, we stayed in a room, but it did have a really good bathroom. But that was a really nice bathroom in that one. But Riviera's bathrooms, man, those things are just the bomb.
Yeah, I totally agree with this result. You know, I voted for Riviera myself, kind of expected it to go this way. But I tell you what, this will be an interesting matchup between Riviera and Beach Club. This is another one where I'm not really sure which way this is going to go. I think that I know with Polynesian versus Animal Kingdom, like I'm pretty sure how that one's going to tip. But with Riviera versus Beach Club, I'm not really sure that I know how this one is going to go. So that will be really, really interesting. I think Beach Club beats out Riviera in terms of like walkability because you can't walk to a park from Riviera, but you can take a Skyliner to two of them. So it's gonna be close, I think, with that one.
Yeah, it's a good point. That'll be cool to see how that one plays out. So the final four of the deluxe half of the bracket is the Polynesian, the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Beach Club, and Riviera. Obviously, all four really great resorts. In the moderate one, the top two moderate resorts, according to all of you, we've got Caribbean Beach against Port Orleans French Quarter. This is tied for the closest match we've ever had. Last year we had a restaurant that tied. We might have actually had two when we did that. We had two restaurants and two different matchups that tied, and we had to have somebody do a tiebreaker. This one was almost tied. However, Port Orleans French Quarter won, and it was 51% to 49%. I mean, that was incredibly close. This one, okay, I'm going to need people to explain to me their reasoning on this one as well, because yes, at Port Orleans French Quarter, there's the beignets, obviously. And you have a boat ride to Disney Springs. However, at Caribbean Beach, you're at it has its own Skyliner station. So you have a Skyliner ride to two parks. Plus, there's more pools at that resort than probably every other Disney resort there is. And every area has a beach. So I am curious what it was about French Quarter. Was it the pool? Was it the beignets? Was it the boat ride? Let us know in the comments what it was that made this the winner for you.
Well, I mean, I think I have a guess. I think probably it's because Caribbean Beach isn't fully renovated yet, whereas Port Orleans is. Also, some people like
I agree, Laura.
some people like the smaller, more walkable size of Port Orleans French Quarter, and you know, Caribbean Beach is it's huge. You know, it is. You know, you can't walk quickly from one side of it to the other.
Okay, that's a fair point. It is like geographically, it's probably 2 or 3 times the size of French Quarter. That's fair.
Right. And also I think that the food court at French Quarter is substantially better
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
than the one at Caribbean Beach.
But the
And
Skyliner.
right.
That's what I keep going back to.
But the Port Orleans resorts are the closest moderate resorts to the Magic Kingdom. So if Magic Kingdom is your primary park, you may not care as much about the Skyliner. You might want to have a shorter bus ride to Magic Kingdom. So that's something to keep in mind too.
All right, Katie makes a good point here. She said it's so small and the pool is great at French Quarter. And when the Skyliner has to shut down, everyone on the Skyliner has to get on a bus. So that's a good point. Yep. And that has happened a few times. It's not a frequent thing, but it does happen. So that's fair. That's a fair point. The next one are our other moderate. Why can't I never remember the word moderate? I don't know. But our other moderate resort matchup was Coronado Springs and the Fort Wilderness Cabins. And it wasn't a blowout by any means, but Coronado Springs did win comfortably. It was 68% to 32%. And once again, I mean, this kind of, they're so different. Like the Fort Wilderness Cabins, you are a boat ride away from Animal Kingdom. I mean, Magic Kingdom. Yeah, sorry. You are a boat ride away from that, and you do have Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. But man, the Coronado Springs is beautiful. The outside building rooms are fantastic. The little courtyard areas, even in the outer parts of the resort, are beautiful. The quick service at Coronado Springs is top notch. It's one of the best of any Disney resort. And then you've got Grandestino Tower, and those rooms are magnificent. I mean, like, it is like you're staying at a deluxe resort if you're in the tower. So this one, I voted for Coronado. I did vote for Caribbean Beach on the previous one, and we didn't say who we voted for on that one, but
Yeah.
I voted for Riviera. But
yeah, I voted for Caribbean Beach too, and I also voted for Coronado Springs.
Yeah, so we both voted for Coronado. Awesome place, just a really awesome place. So, according to you all, the top two Disney moderate resorts are Port Orleans French Quarter and Coronado Springs. And so, as we move on to the values, our last set here, let's see who won these. Okay. This is another one that I don't understand. Like, this one probably puzzles me the most of any of them, quite honestly. This shocked me. I was shocked. All-Star Movies won by a whole lot. It was 70% to 30%. It wasn't even close. All-Star Music has family suites that All-Star Movies does not have.
Another thing I appreciate about, and I love All-Star Movies, like, it is probably, in terms of theming, it is my favorite All-Star resort. But I voted for All-Star Music personally because of those family suites. They're great, but also as a musician, all of the different parts of that resort are themed after different genres of music, and they turn, like, the balcony railings into the musical staff, and the time signature is correct for the type of music that it is. So, like, whether it's 3/4 time or 2/4 time or 4/4 time, the time signature is what is standard for that type of music, or most common for that type of music. So it's just little details like that that Disney pays attention to, that you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And you may, if you are a musician, you're going to really appreciate that. If you're not, you're probably not even gonna notice that. Same way that, like, a sports reference would go completely over my head. Like, I would totally not get it at all. But I appreciate that about music. But the main thing that sells music for me, really, there's two things. It's those family suites, but also its location. If you're in a season of the year where you are sharing a bus between the All-Stars, you are getting on the bus faster and off the bus faster if you're staying at All-Star Music than if you're staying at All-Star Movies.
So that one was a surprise. I think we were. Well, okay, that's fair. That's fair, Katie. Katie said it's the theming. Buzz and Woody in Andy's backyard is amazing. Now, that's true. That is a good point. And I think that's certainly the coolest part of. I think that's the coolest movie area of All-Star Movies. Katie said it's a great point about the buses. Well, I missed this one from Danielle earlier. She said, when we redo our master bathroom, I'm using the bathrooms in Grandestino as my inspiration. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful tower. Beautiful tower. So it's interesting. The family suites did not help All-Star Music beat All-Star Movies. So the question then becomes, did it help Art of Animation beat Pop Century? And I don't know if that's what did it or not, but it did put it over Pop Century. 69% to 31%. Art of Animation beat Pop Century. I personally voted for Pop Century just because I think, like Ginger was saying earlier, it's a little bit of nostalgia, but it is a cool, man. It's just a cool resort. I love the wall and the lobby. Essentially, you're walking through time, and different centuries and the memorabilia. We were walking through, and there was this little Wheel of Fortune handheld game, and we both were like, "Hey, I had that," as a kid, like we had that. So Art of Animation beat All Star, or excuse me, Pop Century. Which one did you vote for, Jen?
I believe I voted. I'm having a hard time remembering for sure. I think I voted for Art of Animation, but again, it was just for consistency's sake. I voted for the type of rooms, like family suites. In terms of which one is my favorite, like which one would I pick to stay at? Well, we have stayed at Art of Animation a couple of different times. We've stayed just the four of us. We've stayed there with my parents. But we've also stayed at Pop Century several times. And I'm with Evan. I have a little bit of a of a nostalgic, I guess, attachment to Pop Century because that was the first Disney hotel that our children ever stayed at. And so, we have cool memories going back to when they were little, from Pop Century, but also too, I don't know, there are certain resorts that feel like Disney to me. And like Grand Floridian feels like dream Disney, peak Disney to me. Like you go there and you're like, this is like ultimate Disney. But Pop Century feels like Disney to me, in a more like my family sense. It feels like Disney, and maybe that is because that is the first one we stayed on in as a family of four, and so my kids, that was their first introduction to staying on site and stuff like that. So that one more than Art of Animation, even though Art of Animation is actually themed after Disney properties, Pop Century feels more like Disney to me.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And I mean, objectively speaking, I think you all made the right choice on this. Art of Animation does have the family suites. And so, objectively speaking, that is probably the superior resort. And it is Disney themed, like Ginger said. So, as we take a step back and we look at the next round, we'll have 4 matchups: the Polynesian versus the Animal Kingdom Lodge, 2 totally different resorts. I know which one I'm going to vote for, but 2 totally different resorts. I think transportation and location might have a serious impact on that decision. Beach Club and Riviera. Oh my goodness. That's going to be the tough one because Riviera is probably my 4th favorite resort. And then probably Coronado Springs, quite honestly, would be number 5. But that is a location, like Ginger was saying earlier. I mean, yeah, you kind of got to no, you can't give an edge to Beach Club because yes, it is just steps away from International Gateway and Epcot, but the Riviera's got its own Skyliner station and it's a short Skyliner ride to both Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So, man, that is tough. And if you did like a restaurant at Caribbean Beach, like Sebastian's or something like that, you can literally walk to it from Riviera because it's right next door. But Beach Club has the Epcot area resort, boardwalk area, which is winter chicken dinner. I mean, like that's just an awesome area. So those are our 2 deluxe resort matchups. Our moderate resort matchup: Port Orleans French Quarter against Coronado Springs. Once again, really 2 totally different types of places. The one thing, in my opinion, that French Quarter does have over Coronado Springs is it is a boat ride away from Disney Springs. Coronado's a bus no matter where you want to go. It's a bus no matter where. And French Quarter has beignets, but Coronado has Gran Destino Tower. So the I don't even know what to think like
it won't be close. I don't think. Y'all could really surprise me, but I don't think it'll be close.
Well, I mean, if we're going off of what happened today, I mean, apparently a lot of people have a really strong affinity to movies, and so I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm genuinely curious, like what's about to happen with that matchup. And that'll be, that's who you all are saying are the top 2 value resorts on Disney property. And I mean, I guess that's fair. That's a fair assessment. So as we zoom out and look at the whole bracket, this round right here, the Elite Eight, baby, the Elite Eight. That's who we're voting on next. So Jen, why don't you tell us when we're voting on those?
So voting will open for the Elite Eight tonight at midnight, and it'll stay open for 24 hours. And then we will be going live again on Saturday night at 9. It is at 9, correct? Or is it earlier on Saturday? We're also coordinating around his YouTube channel, which is covering actual March Madness right now. So I believe it's 9 p.m. But if that changes, I'll post and let everybody know.
We'll plan on that. But if Tennessee were to win tonight, then they would end up playing sometime Saturday afternoon, but we don't know when yet until the end of tonight. So we're going to plan on 9, but we'll see what happens.
Yes. And if you're into sports analysis, particularly if you have an affinity for the SEC or for the Tennessee Volunteers, check out the Vol Bros on YouTube. That is Evan and his brother, Rustin, and they have a video podcast that they do. You've had some cool people on there too.
Yeah, we had. Go ahead.
Well, you tell me. You're going to remember their names better than me.
Okay. We had Cole Kubelik from the SEC Network join us for an episode. That was awesome. We had Josh Mancuso, who is a hilarious comedian who joined us for an episode. We had Mark Nagy, who wrote who's an author. I mean, it's a really fun show. TheVolBros.com, the VOL Bros.com, and it'll link take you to everywhere. Laura is a honorary Vol Sis sister, and she said, "Come on, Evan, if they win." Hey, after all the stuff that's happened today, I mean, March Madness is awesome, y'all. It's just awesome. So is Marvelous Madness. It is awesome too. But that's the beauty of the NCAA tournament. Anybody can beat anybody. If you don't believe me, just ask the folks from Arizona right now. Princeton got the best of them in a 15-2 seed earlier. So tomorrow, it's only a day away, so I've heard, and we will be voting on the Elite Eight. 2 deluxe matchups and 1 moderate and 1 value resort matchup. So that'll happen tomorrow on Friday, starting at midnight.
St. Patrick's Day.
That's exactly. I hope everybody has a great St. Patrick's Day. And then Saturday evening, see what I did there? Probably 9, but there's no way knowing yet. So Saturday evening, we will go live and reveal the Final Four, who you have voted on to be in the Final Four. And that's really exciting too. I love this. I think it's so much fun. When y'all comment, that's what makes it real fun. That's a lot of fun to see everybody's comments and stuff. So I appreciate very much everybody joining us tonight. And Jen, you want to take us out?
Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you have a great night. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and we will see you on Saturday evening at some point. Bye, everybody.